The pitfalls and perils of marijuana legalization are well documented. But whenever we discuss that research here on Breakpoint, we're accused of not having the right research. What that means is that we've used studies that contradict the very vocal advocates of weed. Well, let's see what happens when we cite the British journal The Lancet, which, along with the New England Journal of Medicine and the Journal of the American Medical Association, is considered the gold standard for peer-reviewed medical research. It doesn't get more real than being published in The Lancet. A just-published study in The Lancet involving, among others, researchers at King's College London, compared 900 people who had been treated for psychosis with 1,200 people who had not. Sample participants were drawn from across Europe and Brazil. Both groups were surveyed on a host of factors, including their use of marijuana and other drugs. The study's authors concluded that people who smoked marijuana on a daily basis were 3 times more likely to be diagnosed with psychosis compared with people who never used the drug. For those who used high-potency marijuana daily, the risk jumped to nearly 5 times. By high potency, the researchers meant marijuana with a THC content of more than 10%. To put that figure in context, a study of the weed seized by the DEA between 1995 and 2014 found the THC content went from about 4% in 1995 to 12% in 2014. Today, it's not uncommon to read of marijuana that's legally sold in places like Colorado with THC content above 20%, occasionally 30%. Legalization advocates minimize the exponential growth in potency by saying that 20 or more years ago, Americans didn't have access to the good stuff. Well, that misses the point by several astronomical units. The point is that those people who daily use the good stuff are 5 times more likely to find themselves in a hospital suffering from delusions and hallucinations, to name only 2 symptoms of psychosis. Now, critics will respond, that's correlation, not causation. And that's the criticism leveled at journalist Alex Berenson, author of Tell Your Children, The Truth About Marijuana, Mental Illness, and Violence, a book I recommend highly. But as I heard Berenson say just last week in Denver, of course it's correlation and not causation. The only way to prove causation would be to ask half a sample group to experiment with something that may harm them.